These are the Cairngorms, an area encompassing some of the most beautiful scenery in Britain. Home to majestic mountain peaks, forests of towering Scots pine, and beautiful cloud-draped lochs and epic winding roads. If you're new around here, we're Jack and Joe, that's our scruffy hitchhiker Frank, and this is Big P, a home on wheels that's taken us on adventures to wild places all over the UK and Europe. Join us as we head north for winter, experiencing the peace and power of nature in the Cairngorms National Park. We drive along winding, snowy roads and show you why you think Scotland, in any weather and any season, is the perfect place to travel in a campervan. If this sounds like your kind of adventure, put your feet up and come along with us for these wild journeys in the Cairngorms. Hello, it's been a while. It's been about 2 and a bit months since we last filmed. We're now ready to start our new adventure. We've travelled north, we're in Scotland. We're actually on the border, Frank's homeland as a border terrier. And we're very ecstatic to be in Scotland. The plan is to spend 2 months, month and a half in Scotland in winter. It's going to be cold, the weather probably not going to be great. But we're really looking forward to just slowing down, seeing some old parts of Scotland that we travelled to many years ago, and also some new parts as well. So yeah, we're on the borders. We're parked in a forestry car park just south of Jedburgh, and what's really good is the stay the night scheme that the forestry have been doing for like the past 2 years. So it's £7.50 for the night. They've actually extended it to winter. And this is one of the winter car parks. So we had a really nice kind of start to the new year, kind of parked up by this valley in a forest. The views are amazing, apart from this morning, they're perhaps not too amazing. And yeah, we're gonna go travel a little bit further up north and we'll see where we end up. I think the title of this video will tell you where we ended up, but for now, we're kind of just planning as we go. But yeah, let's roll. Of off-roading to start the new year in Big P. This count as off-roading?
It's the most off-roading she'll ever be able to do.
Yeah. Hey, we had new brakes fitted on Big P and new suspension, so she's oh god, I'm gonna jinx it.
Please don't jinx it.
Riding like a dream. After setting us up for another Big P breakdown with that jinx, we drove north, filling up our water tanks at free air in the town of Howick before we crossed the Firth of Forth Bridge and made the decision to head up to the edge of the Cairngorms at our first stop, Loch Tay. Go then, go get her! Go get her! Morning. Beautiful snowy nighttime drive. We actually stayed in another forestry car park. £7.50. It's a great deal. Slept super well. It's about, what do you reckon, 9:15? Well, I don't know why I asked my watch. What do you reckon? It's because I just reached my step goal because we're heading up this hill to this viewpoint called Black Rock Viewpoint.
Yeah, no, Black Rock Trail.
Black Rock Trail. Thanks, Joe. By Loch Tay. So Loch Tay Forest Park, which is just before the Cairngorms. Actually really beautiful. And I think we're walking hopefully above some clouds. You can just about see a hill there with snow on it. Really beautiful. Hardly anyone around because it's the 3rd of Jan. I think everyone's gone back to work, apart from us slackers. Oh, but I think it's about 1.5 miles fully up. We're out of shape. We're carrying a lot of Christmas weight, aren't we, Joe?
Nothing wrong with that, thank you very much.
Working off some excess Christmas timber, we carried on climbing up. After walking through a layer of cloud, we were treated to our first dose of Scottish drizzle of the trip. But we powered on through, and we were treated with a beautiful view back down towards the town of Cairngorm and Loch Tay. It's 1 o'clock and we realise we've only probably got about 3 hours of sunlight because we're that far north, so we're going to go do 2 things today. Firstly, we're going to go see if we can see like a 6,000-year-old yew tree which is just up the road, and then we're going to go to find a waterfall. But the roads around here are quite tight, but Big P's doing alright. After a short but beautifully scenic drive down twisting lochside roads, we arrived at the Fortingall Yew, a tree estimated to be one of the oldest trees, in fact maybe one of the oldest living things in Europe. You'll often find yew trees in churchyards around the UK, and that's because many churches were built on sacred pagan sites, where yew trees were revered as a symbol of death and rebirth. This tree has been dated to be as old as 5,000 years old, which makes it older than the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge. After nerding out about the yew tree, we drove back down to Loch Tay with plans to hike to a waterfall. But with the rain and clouds moving in, we changed our plans, took a short walk around Loch Tay and warmed up with a coffee at the hotel there, before we found ourselves back on the road on our way to another forestry car park for the night. Great little park up. Actually the road noise wasn't too bad. I went for a run this morning, did a 5k, saw some waterfalls, it was beautiful. And now we're ready to drive into the Cairngorms, and we're going to go via the old military road, which is like a scenic road that will take us up to, I think, the highest navigable road in the UK, which is about 1,000 metres. So there might be snow, but I've looked at the road cams and the roads all look clear, so it should be fun. So let's roll.
You're just saying that to make me feel better.
No, yeah, I am just saying that, but I have actually looked at the webcams and they look clear, I promise you. Okay. Got a very nervous passenger. We are. There's a sign for the Cairngorms.
Yeah.
Sweet! So we've just entered the Cairngorms. We're on the old snow road, which I think is basically an old military road. I was reading about this last night. That was built from like the 17th century, essentially just to help British troops get across the Highlands during the Jacobite rebellion. And now it's just a tourist scenic route, and it will take you across some really remote parts of the Cairngorms National Park, and it is just stupidly beautiful. We've got like some low cloud, some snow on the mountains. Oh, I think we're going to find a viewpoint and have a brew of a view. Good view, Frank? Nice view? Just pulled up to a viewpoint called Devil's Elbow. I mean, look at this. Absolutely beautiful. I think we're going to get the back row open and have a hot drink because the view needs to be savoured. Look at it. Good view?
It's alright.
Yeah? You had better, have you?
Yeah.
We've had quite some. This is, I mean, we say this about every view we go to, but this is pretty special.
Oh, it's something. Gonna have to get hot water on the go though.
Yeah.
Not for the heater on, that door's wide open.
We said we'd stop for a quick hot drink. We've actually stayed for 2 hot drinks because it's beautiful here. A big cloud kind of came over us and we couldn't see anything, so we thought we'll get another hot drink in, and it was worth it because now the sun's kind of burnt through and just the view across the valley is like golden and just beautiful. Joe's put on a big coat, ready to go out into the cold. I think we're going to carry on the drive because, again, it's 1:30, so we've probably only got about 2 hours of sunlight and we need to get to our next spot and take Frank for a walk, who's eager to go outside and see everyone.
Let's go.
The snow road through the Cairngorms National Park is a stunning journey. 90 miles long, it connects cosy highland towns through a winding mountain road, taking you over expansive snowy moorland and beautiful forest vistas. So after a beautiful drive, we've come to the Morlich estate, which is basically part of Scottish National Trust, and you can overnight in that car park. We've done it before actually, 2 years ago. Really good night's sleep, and there's loads of walks that you can do from here. We've probably only got about an hour of sunlight left, so we're just going to go for a quick woodland walk. But that drive was beautiful, and now this walk, really cool. I think they've basically rewilded this whole estate with basically trying to replant the ancient Caledonian forest that used to be here. So lots of Scots pine, beautiful, lots of amazing colours. Uh oh, not ice zoomies. Looks like someone had a bit of pent-up energy to burn, eh? Fun facts about some of these trees. At least I think it's a funny fact. Fun fact. All those big, older looking trees are called granny pines. And they're the ones that you'd like, I don't know how many hundreds of years old, but they were used to replant some of these new trees. So they're basically just trying to replant the whole Caledonian forest across this land. It's really cool. We started our morning the next day with a riverside walk along the River Dee. This spot was a personal favourite of Queen Victoria centuries ago, and you can see why, with the snow-capped mountains further adding to the beauty of this part of the Cairngorms National Park. We then followed the river, driving into the quaint town of Braemar, where we warmed ourselves with a cup of coffee and a slice of cake, served with a stunning view at the bothy. Great little stop at a cafe. We're now at the royal family's gaff. Oh, that rhymed. I'm going to go walk around the Braemar estate and find a pyramid, which should be quite cool. And we've probably got about an hour and a half of sunlight left, maybe less than that. That's our squeaky door. Quite the steep one. Unexpectedly steep, muddy walk. We thought it was going to be a bit of an easy one, but you actually have to hike quite far to this. We're going up, so hopefully it's going to be a nice view at the top. Prince Albert's pyramid was erected by Queen Victoria in memory of her husband Prince Albert after his death in 1861. It was clearly chosen for its special views which look out towards the snowy peaks of the Cairngorms. We watched the sunset and spent the night in the car park where you can stay for the princely sum of £10. Morning. Didn't plan to film anything from today, well just today, because we're going to have a rest day, do some chores. We've run out of water in the van, toilet's full, and our recycling bin is overflowing. Exciting update for you. But we're finishing off the snow road today, and this is probably the most scenic part, or at least like the most barren and not populated part. It is incredible, but there's been some steep climbs, hasn't there, Joe?
Yeah.
Joe didn't see the views from one of the steep climbs because she had her eyes closed for the whole time. But luckily, apart from the road at the beginning, this road has been quite gritted. But I do think they close it when it's been really snowy or icy, because they do have the snow gates. So check before you drive, before you set off, sorry.
We didn't. Luckily it was open.
I did check. I checked for this whole drive. But yeah, true, I didn't actually check today, but they do have signs, and I think you can take a detour. But bloody hell, it's amazing. Just wow. Drove on through the snow road, past the whisky town of Grandtown-on-Spey, and arrived at a campsite on the outskirts of Aviemore called Dalraddy. With a massive load of laundry on a spin cycle, we were treated to an incredible starry night sky. We woke the next day, surrounded by trees and early morning bird song, ready for our final day exploring the Cairngorms. The hike we were doing will take us around the beautiful, glassy freshwater loch of Loch Morlich, which is fed by the snow-peaked mountains behind it. Fringed by cloud and snowy peaks, this loch was a beautiful but easygoing walk, perfect for winter. It had ducks, which Frank desperately wanted to chase, and we saved the best for last.
Oh, Frank's dog. They're your friends, Frank.
Frank, don't mean to alarm you, but it looks like there's a beach over there. There's literally a beach there. Wow, this is beautiful though. Yeah. Go on then, go to the beach, go on. Make sure there aren't any ducks for him to chase. Whoa, Frank. At 384 metres in elevation, Loch Morlich is home to the UK's highest beach, a sandy shore made from thousands of years of erosion of the granite peaks of the Cairngorms. It was time to play some fetch.
He's so ready for it.
Oh, he's in a bush. A great week of hiking, driving, exploring awesome forests, snowy mountains. The drives were exceptional. We are going to head further up north, and in the next video I think we're going to start the North Coast 500 in winter, which should be pretty awesome. I'm going to go to the beach, Frank. A proper beach with the sea. I'm going to throw a ball. You'll love it. But yeah, thanks very much for watching. Happy New Year, and we'll catch you in the next video on the next adventure. See ya.